Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, hope you all are fine. I am Dr. Maham Sadiq, Department of Botany, University of Education, Faisalabad campus. Working as a co-teacher in subject of plant systematics, anatomy and development. Course code is BOTN 1112. Today, we will discuss structure and development of leaf. In this lecture, we will discuss anatomy of leaf, in which three types of tissue system discussed: epidermis, cortical tissues, vertical tissues. In addition to these tissues, we will discuss orientation of leaf, structure of dorsiventral and isobilateral leaf, dicot and monocot leaf structure, and at the end, difference between dicot and monocot leaf. What is leaf? As we all know that leaf is the flattened structure of higher plants, typically green and blade-like, that is attached to the stem directly or indirectly via stalk. So, leaves are the primary photosynthetic organs of the plant and serving as key sites where energy from light is converted into chemical energy. Similar to the other organ of a plant, a leaf is composed of three basic tissue systems, including the dermal, vascular, and ground tissue systems. These three motifs are continuous throughout the entire plant, but their properties vary significantly based upon the organ type in which they are located. Next is leaf tissue anatomy. In leaf tissue anatomy, we will discuss epidermis, cortical tissues, and vascular tissues. This is the complete anatomy of our entire leaf structure, in which you can see the epidermis, upper and lower epidermis, and cuticle, the waxy cuticle layers which protect the leaf or plant from water loss. So we will discuss one by one all this. Dermal tissues of plant, more specifically referred as the epidermis, is an outer protective layer of typically polygonal cells. Shape of the cell is polygonal cells. Dermal tissues, typically referred as epidermis, which help defend against injury and invasion by foreign organisms. Epidermis of leaf also function in more specialized manner by secreting a waxy substance that forms a coating termed the cuticle. You can see here the waxy layer named cuticle on the surface of the leaf. An adaptation unique to terrestrial plants, the cuticle functions chiefly in the retention of water. The cells that comprises the epidermis of leaf are arranged very tightly together in a single stratum. Microscopic pores, named as stomata, usually present in the lower epidermis. You can see their lower epidermis, cuticle is also present, but an additional structure, stoma, is present. Microscopic pores, known as stomata, are the only breaches in the otherwise continuous layer of the leaf epidermis. Each individual pore is known as stoma. In fact, a small opening between a pair of specialized cells called guard cells. By modifying the size of the stomata, guard cells are able to regulate gas exchange and transpiration. Such modifications are influenced by various environmental factors. For example, when the weather is usually hot and dry, the guard cells of the plant, in danger of losing too much water, narrow the stomata width in order to reduce evaporation from the leaf interior. In order for leaves to obtain water and minerals from the roots and for food manufactured in the mature leaves to be transported to the roots and other non-photosynthetic regions, each leaf must be connected to the vascular structures, that is, xylem and phloem. According to the main vascular bundles of xylem and phloem present in the stem of plant into the leaf traces, which are branches of vascular tissues that supply leaf. Each leaf trace further branches into the familiar veins. You can see here, familiar veins. These are interconnected. That can often be seen along the surface of leaves, and the veins repeatedly subdivided as well. The vascular components, which serve as a basic skeletal structure in addition to the functioning in the transport of materials, extend throughout the mesophyll so that the xylem and phloem are brought into propinquity with leaf tissues that carry out photosynthesis. The mesophyll in the midsection, you can see mesophyll cells. Mesophyll cells are of two types, palisade and spongy. Mesophyll in the midsection of the leaf located between the upper and lower epidermal layer. Upper and lower epidermal layer. Not only in vasculated found in the mesophyll but also the ground tissues of the leaf. Ground tissues comprises the bulk of plant leaf and is generally comprised of a variety of cell types. Predominant cells are parenchyma, often less specialized than other plant cell types. Parenchyma cells are surrounded by thin, flexible primary walls and execute most of the plant's metabolic activities. Parenchyma cells present in leaves contain chloroplasts, which are the sites of photosynthesis. So, mesophyll is divided into two conspicuously different regions, a characteristic common among the leaves of many dicotyledons. The upper section comprises of palisade parenchyma. You can see here, consists chiefly the elongated. The shape of these cells are elongated columnar parenchyma cells that contain 3 to 5 times the number of chloroplasts as the cells that comprise to the lower layer, known as spongy parenchyma. The cells of the spongy parenchyma are irregular shaped, allowing gases to circulate through the numerous air spaces between them to palisade parenchyma. The stomata, which are particularly important for the gas exchange, tend to be surrounded by exceptionally large air spaces. A small group of collenchyma cells are also illustrated in the mesophyll of the leaf section. Collenchyma cells occur in aggregates just beneath the epidermis and possess thicker primary cell walls than parenchyma cells. The thickness of the wall, however, does exhibit notable variations. The main function of the collenchyma cells is to provide additional support to the plant, especially in the areas of continuous growth. Next are the main functions of some important parts of the plant leaf. Number one is cuticle, made of wax, waterproofing the leaf, secreted by the cells of the upper epidermis. Upper epidermis, thin and transparent, allow light to pass through. No chloroplast, act as a barrier to disease organisms. Third, palisade mesophyll, main region for photosynthesis. Cells are columnar, packed with chloroplasts to trap light energy, receive carbon dioxide by diffusing from air spaces in the spongy mesophyll. Spongy mesophyll are more spherical and loosely packed, contain chloroplasts, but not as many as palisade cells. Air spaces between the cells allow gaseous exchange carbon dioxide to the cells, oxygen from the cells during photosynthesis. Vascular bundles, that is a leaf vein made up of xylem and phloem. Xylem vessels bring water and minerals to the leaf. Phloem vessels transport sugar and amino acids away. Orientation of leaves. There are two types of orientation of leaves, dorsiventral and isobilateral. Dorsiventral. In this leaf type, found mainly in dicotyledons, with a structure that changes from dorsal surface to ventral surface. Such leaves are generally held horizontally. It contains three types of tissues: epidermal, ground tissues, and vascular tissues. Other type is isobilateral leaves. These are leaves which possess equal number of stomata on both sides of leaf, such like dorsal and ventral side. It is mainly found in monocot leaves. Isobilateral leaves have no differentiation into palisade and spongy cells. Patches of sclerenchyma occur here and there for mechanical support. This is the structural diagram of dorsiventral leaf. Dorsiventral leaf has two surfaces, dorsal and ventral. On the upper side, upper epidermis is present, and in the lower side, lower epidermis is present. The epidermis is usually one-layered with a row of tubular cells, the outer wall of which are properly cuticularized. Stomata are present on the lower epidermis, not on the upper epidermis. Next is the ground tissues. The ground tissues of the leaf is called mesophyll tissues. It is differentiated into two types of cells. Towards upper epidermis, two or three layers of columnar elongated cells with abundant chloroplasts remain rather compactly arranged more or less at right angle to the epidermis. They are called palisade parenchyma cells. Towards the lower epidermis, the cells are irregular and isodiametric in shape and very loosely arranged with profuse intercellular spaces. They are spongy parenchyma cells. Next to each stomata on the lower epidermis, there is a cavity. You can see a cavity. In this section, another cavity we can see. So, this cavity is called substomatal chamber, which is communication with the intercellular spaces of the internal tissues. Next is the vascular tissues. Vascular tissues, veins of the leaves are the vascular bundles. The size of the bundle depends on the position one chosen to take in making the section. A section through the midrib show a vascular bundle with xylem and phloem. Xylem with tracheids and vessels on the other side, phloem with safe tube. Patches of collenchyma may be present below the upper and lower epidermis for mechanical support. But in section passing through a smaller vein, the bundle sheet, this is, remains surrounded by a row of colorless parenchyma cells forming what is known as bundle sheet or border parenchyma. Bundle sheet or border parenchyma. Next is isobilateral leaf. As we defined before, isobilateral leaves have both the surfaces are evenly illuminated and thus they show less differentiation of tissues. You can see stomata are distributed on both sides of the epidermis. Mesophyll is not differentiated into palisade and spongy mesophyll. Patches of sclerenchyma cells are also present among the cells for mechanical support. In this slide, we can see a structure of monocote leaf, a transverse section of monocote leaf. There is a difference between monocote and dicote leaf. We will discuss later dicote leaf, so you can understand easily. First of all, we can discuss monocote leaf. Monocote leaves are leaves which appear on plants produced from seeds with single cotyledons like maize, rice, grass, wheat. Monocote leaves are usually described as isobilateral leaves because both the upper and the lower surfaces have the same color, as you can see. In the monocote leaf, equal number of stomata are present on both surfaces of the epidermis. This condition is normally described as amphistomatic condition, in which stomata are present equally on both sides of the epidermis. Now we can see upper epidermis. Upper epidermis is a single layer of a cubical shaped cells with no intercellular spaces in between them. The outer surface of the upper epidermis cell is covered by a thin layer of cuticle. A few cells present in the upper epidermis are enlarged to form motor cells like this, referred to as bulliform cells. These cells help the leaf to roll over themselves in order to reduce the surface area exposed to sunlight during the hot season. Next is mesophyll. You can see mesophyll is a green tissue between upper epidermis and the lower epidermis. In monocote leaf, the mesophyll tissues is not differentiated into palisade parenchyma and the spongy parenchyma with chloroplast and chlorophyll. Mesophyll is usually involved in photosynthesis process in the leaves of these plants. Next are vascular bundles. Vascular bundles represented the veins of the leaves. Each vascular bundle consists of xylem and phloem tissues surrounded by the bundle sheet cells. This pink colored row of cells indicated the bundle sheet cells. Bundle sheet layer of the vascular bundle is made up of large barrel-shaped endodermal cells. Xylem is usually responsible for conduction of water and dissolved minerals, whereas phloem is responsible for conduction of dissolved food materials. Next is dicot leaf. Dicotyledons, commonly known as dicots, include mango, peanuts, peas, oranges, beans, apples, off trees. Now we can discuss anatomy of a dicot leaf. Just like a monocot leaf, the main internal structure of the leaf included epidermis, mesophyll, and the vascular bundle. First of all, the epidermis is usually made up of single layer of cells that are closely packed. A dicot leaf consists of lower and upper epidermis with small openings known as stomata. The upper epidermis is thicker than the lower epidermis. The main function of the epidermis is to give protection to the inner tissues known as mesophyll. Now, mesophyll. Mesophyll usually has two regions, the palisade and the spongy parenchyma. Palisade parenchyma usually contain more chloroplasts, like we can see in this diagram, in this section, towards the upper epidermis. Palisade parenchyma are present, and thus its function is in photosynthesis. On the other hand, spongy cells are irregularly shaped and loosely arranged so to facilitate gas exchange within the air spaces, like this. These white colored chambers are filled with air. Next, vascular bundles. Vascular bundle of the dicot leaf are surrounded by a compact layer of parenchyma cells. These are the vascular bundles of the dicot leaf, in which you can see the protoxylem, metaxylem, and in blue color phloem. Pink lines surrounded these tissues are called bundle sheet cells. Xylem consists of protoxylem, metaxylem. Phloem consists of sieve tubes, companion cells, and the parenchyma, phloem parenchyma. Respiratory cavity is also present, which is linked to the stomatal opening on the lower epidermis, and epidermal hairs are also present on the dicot leaf. In this slide, we will discuss difference between dicot and monocot leaf. In the beginning of this, we already discussed the anatomy. Now we can discuss it in the tabular form. Difference is on the form of guard cells. In dicot leaf, guard cells of the stomata are kidney shaped. But in monocot leaves, guard cells of stomata are dumbbell shaped. Next is shape. The shape of a dicot plant leaf is broader and relatively smaller. But in monocot plant leaf is slender and long in shape. Leaf orientation of dicot leaf is dorsiventral, while monocot leaf is isobilateral. Next is upper and lower surface color. The upper surface of the dicot leaf is dark green, while the lower surface is light green in color in dicot. In monocot leaf, the upper and lower surfaces of the monocot leaves are equally green. Next is size of the vascular bundles. The vascular bundles is large in dicot leaf. Both small and large vascular bundles are present in monocot leaf. Next is stomata arrangement. Usually, in dicot leaf, stomata present on the lower surface of the leaf, a condition referred to as hypostomatic. The leaves of the monocot have stomata on both surfaces of the leaf. A condition is referred to as amphistomatic. Next is intercellular spaces. In dicot leaf, intercellular spaces are relatively large due to the presence of loosely packed mesophyll cells. In monocot plant leaf, the intercellular spaces are relatively small due to the compact arrangement of mesophyll cells. Next is venation pattern. Reticulate venation pattern is present in dicot leaf and parallel venation pattern is present in the monocot leaf. Next is the stomata arrangement. Stomata are arranged randomly on the epidermis of a dicot plant leaf. The stomata are arranged in parallel rows and are uniformly present on both of the leaf surfaces. Next is bundle sheet. Plant leaves are generally has a single layer and formed of colorless cells. The bundle sheet of a monocot plant leaf may have a single or double layer and form of colored cells due to the presence of chloroplast. Mesophyll differentiation. The mesophyll of a dicot leaf is differentiated into two parts, lower spongy mesophyll and upper palisade. But in monocot leaf, mesophyll is not differentiated. These are the leaf structure shape and venation of the monocot and dicot leaf. Hope you can understand all the tissues and their description. Thank you so much.